This year, our country is celebrating the 75th year of independence. Today we pay homage to a great Indian personality, Dadabhai Naoroji, on his birthday. This small documentary shows his life and work. Dadabhai Naoroji, who is also known as the Grand Old Man of India and unofficial ambassador of India, was an Indian political leader, merchant, scholar, and writer. Dadabhai Naoroji was born in Bombay on 4th September 1825 in a priestly Gujarati-speaking Parsi Zoroastrian family. He received his education from the Elphinstone Institute School. Naoroji married Kulbai at the age of 11. Due to his outstanding performance at the Elphinstone College, Naoroji obtained the Clare Scholarship. Soon after graduation, in 1845, he became the first Indian to be appointed as a professor at Elphinstone. He taught the special classes held for the spread of women's education. He was the first Indian to be given an academic appointment. He was called the Promise of India by another professor at the institution. In December 1855, he was appointed Professor of Mathematics and Natural Philosophy in Elphinstone College in Bombay, becoming the first Indian to hold such an academic position. On 27 June 1855, he travelled to London to join the first Indian business firm of the mercantile Kama family. He opened a Liverpool location for Kama and Company, which was the first Indian company to be established in Britain. 4 years later, he resigned on ethical grounds. In 1859, he established his own cotton trading company, Dadabhai Naoroji and Company. He also became a professor of Gujarati at University College London in 1856 and remained there till 1865. In 1865, Naoroji directed and launched the London Indian Society, the purpose of which was to discuss the Indian political, social, and literary subjects. Naoroji laid the foundation of India's freedom struggle. He is known in the history of Indian economic thought for his pioneering work in assessing India's national income and the drain of wealth from India to Britain. He argued that civil servant salary and pension remittances to Britain, profound unfavorable trade balances, the cost of the military deployed to defund British possessions outside India, the siphoning of substantial amounts of Indian tax revenues to imperial coffers contributed to impoverishing India. In 1867, he went on to help establish the East India Association, which aimed to combat prevailing views of the Asians as inferior and put the Indian point of view before the British public. This association soon won the support of eminent Englishmen and was able to exercise considerable influence in the British Parliament. The organization eventually merged with the Indian National Association in 1885, becoming the Indian National Congress. He took a leading part in the founding of the Indian National Congress and became its president thrice in 1886, 1893, and 1906. A staunch moderate within the Congress, he was also a mentor to Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Gopal Krishna, Gokhale, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. In India, his friends included Sorabji Bengali, the social reformer, Khurshedji Kama, Karisundas Mulji, K.R. Kama, the Orientalist, Naoroji Furtunji, Jamshedji Tata, R.G. Bhandarkar, N.G. Chandravarkar, the national reformer, Ferozshah Mehta, Dinshaw Wacha. In 1874, after returning to India, he was appointed the Diwan of the Maharaja of Baroda, but a year later, on account of differences with the Maharaja and the British resident, he resigned from the Diwanship. In July 1875, he was elected as a member of the Municipal Corporation, Bombay. In 1876, he resigned and left for London. He was appointed as Justice of the Peace in 1883. He started a newspaper called Voice of India and was elected to the Bombay Municipal Corporation for the second time. On 31st January 1885, when the Bombay Presidency Association came into being, he was elected as one of its vice presidents. In August 1885, he joined the Bombay Legislative Council at the invitation of the Governor Lord Ray. Foreign travel left its mark on his character and personality. A product of liberal Western education, he was an admirer of the Western system of education. During Naoroji's lifetime, the Indian population accounted for over 4/5 of the British Empire, but its 250 million people were unrepresented in British Parliament. While in Britain, Naoroji fought in several elections to the House of Commons, facing considerable racism each time. His 1886 bid as Liberal Party candidate for the strongly conservative Holborn seat in London was unsuccessful, and following his defeat, Lord Salisbury, the British Prime Minister, remarked that an English constituency was not ready to elect a black man. The statement gave Naoroji notoriety, and popular satirical magazine Punch referred to it in a cartoon depicting Naoroji as Othello and Salisbury as the Doge of Westminster. Naoroji became a well-known public figure after gaining the support of Florence Nightingale and suffrage campaigners. In 1892, he was eventually elected as the Liberal candidate for the strongly working-class marginal seat of Central Finsbury in the Clerkenwell, now part of London Borough of Islington, and joined Gladstone's government. Naoroji was the first Asian to be a British MP, notwithstanding Anglo-Indian MP D.O. Dyche Sombre, who was elected as a radical Liberal to the seat of Sudbury in Suffolk, 1841. As Dadabhai was not a Christian, he refused to take the oath of office on the Bible book, but was allowed to take the oath in the name of God on his copy of the Kurde Avesta, the Zoroastrian religious text. During his time in the House of Commons, Naoroji devoted his time towards improving the situation in India and campaigned for Indian independence. However, he also supported votes for women, pensions for the elderly, Irish Home Rule, and the abolition of the House of Lords. He was assisted in duties as an MP by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the future Muslim nationalist and founder of Pakistan. Naoroji lost his seat in the general election of 1895, when the Conservatives won back power. Naoroji passed away in Bombay on the 30th of June in 1917 at the age of 91. He played a critical role in developing nationalism in India. For all leaders of the national movement, he was the primary source of inspiration. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, in a speech, had proclaimed, "If we 20 crores of Indians were entitled to send only one member to the British Parliament, there is no doubt that we would have elected Dadabhai Naoroji unanimously to grace that post." Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi wrote to Naoroji in 1894, saying that the Indians look up to you as the children to the father. Such is really the feeling here. The history of the Indian national movement is incomplete without Dadabhai Naoroji. He was the first modern Indian leader of truly national standing.